Shalom. Welcome back to a Bisseleh Torah. We've gone through a whirlwind of holy days that follow so swiftly after one another, it is almost dizzying. We began with the month of Elul, where we tested ourselves every single day, taking our pulse of who we are, where we've been, where we need to be. And then we celebrated Rosh Hashanah, we think, the birthday of the world. But it's far more than that and far deeper and greater than that, for it celebrates the sixth day of creation, not the first. What happened on the sixth day of creation? Man and woman were crafted. And on the sixth day of creation, even more than that, they ate of the tree of the knowledge of fruit of good and evil, committing a sin, and almost immediately in the aftermath of that, being expelled from the garden, they're forgiven. Sin and forgiveness. So it's no surprise that a few days after Rosh Hashanah, we move towards a celebration of the freedom from the shackles of ourself, Yom Kippur, which is what that is all about ultimately, that we confront our sins, our transgressions, we look at them head on, we try to do so without shrinking back or making excuses, and then we know at the end of Yom Kippur that our crimes against God have been forgiven. This idea of sin and forgiveness, in a sense, is cyclical. It turns. As soon as we move away from sin, we're moving towards wholeness and forgiveness and toward God. And as soon as we have abandoned that process, we're moving back towards sin again. We're always moving toward sin or toward forgiveness and reconciliation. We're never static. It's always moving. But it's not always moving in a circular fashion that goes round and round, but rather it moves up because we learn from our mistakes. And so that when we are moving towards sin again and reconciliation, we're doing so on a higher level. Is that not the purpose of life? So while it's cyclical, it's also cylindrical, moving upward. And now we find ourselves celebrating Simhat Torah in just a couple of days, the celebration of Torah. What is that linkage between Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and Simchat Torah all about? It's all about finding ourselves and our soul with God. You see, the world is not about you and I. The world is about finding our soul in its place in the universe with God, you, and I. And we do that by not necessarily looking internally at our own egotistical needs, but looking internally and connecting our soul with Torah, which is why we celebrate the Torah. When we get out of our own way, when we stop trying to invest ourselves in what everybody else is doing better and more, and start looking at something that exists outside of those egotistical desires, we start looking at Torah. And then there's a new reckoning that occurs. The reckoning occurs with this a purification, a return. Just like when we put the Torah away in the ark at the end of the Torah service, Hashivenu, Veshuvah. Return to us, God. And we, at the same time, shall return to you. This is what the Simchat Torah is all about. The ultimate return back to our soul, who we were born to be, and at a higher level, at a higher madrega than we were last year. And next year, please God, at a higher level than we are this year. Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach.